I fell into neurodiversity, if you can, by accident in the year 2000. Originally, I wanted to be a social worker, and I spoke to a social worker and said, how can I get into social work? And she said, try some volunteering. And at that age, I think I was 16, 17, and I was like, I'm not working for free. But I saw an advert on the wall at the college I was going to, and it said, come and volunteer with their autistic son on a play scheme, which I now know actually was quite controversial and wrong. But at that time, I was 16, I didn't really know anything, actually. But I went and did this play scheme, and I got really involved with understanding of autism. And what was terrible about that play scheme was it was called the Sunrise Programme. I don't know if anyone's heard of that. But the Sunrise Programme, it aimed to cure people of their autism. So at 16, I was going to be curing this little boy of his autism. And we all know that is so wrong, and we've come so far from then. But I found the topic really fascinating, and so I just sort of stayed in it, and I never became a social worker. I went to university and did my dissertation around educational provision for students with autism, and that was quite easy. In 2003, there wasn't really any provision for autistic students. So then I went to work at the National Autistic Society, and I was helping a lot of autistic people into work and working with employers. And actually, as my career progressed, I started to really feel like I could make a big impact by contributing to employers' awareness and understanding. And whilst I was at the National Autistic Society, I would say over half of the autistic people I worked with also had another overlapping condition, such as ADHD, such as dyspraxia, such as dyslexia. So I started to learn a lot more about those terms. And the first time I heard the word neurodiversity was when I was speaking to an autistic person one day, and I told him that I've got epilepsy, and he said to me, oh, that makes you neurodiverse. And I'd never heard the term before, but I thought it was such a positive term, so I went and learned a bit more about that. And in the last couple of years, workplaces have started to hear about it. But that was a little bit about my story, but I'll try not to talk about myself too much, because I haven't got enough time. But I founded Adjust in 2016 to focus on neurodiversity in the workplace, to give employers an understanding around autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, and ADHD. And for the first year, a lot of people were like, neuro what? And it wasn't so well known. But like I was saying, the last year and a half, I think workplaces have really started to embrace it a lot more. And we specifically focus on training. We deliver courses to managers, recruitment teams, and HR. And I think really crucially, a group that gets completely missed, which is colleagues. Because after all, who are the people spending most of their day with? It's colleagues. So we do a lot of lunch and learns so that colleagues can embrace neurodiversity. And if you give one a free lunch, they'll come to anything.